The Bible has a lot of narratives about deliverance, but the psalmist actually tells us about the safety of abiding in the presence of the Almighty God if we trust in Him. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. Certainly, King David knew what it was like to trust in God completely, especially during some of the worst times of his life, and he wants us to follow in his footsteps. So he writes to us in Psalm 91 and verse 1, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him I will trust." It seems like the first secret to God's deliverance here is where we find ourselves. Are we running scared out there, trying to get away from the devil? Are we hiding in some dark place thinking no one will find us there? Or are we just standing around shaking in our boots, realizing there are so many dangers and so many things out to get us? Well, David's answer is to dwell in the secret place of the Most High. That doesn't say that just cry out in the midst of crisis, or maybe rely on God whenever it's necessary or convenient, or even using God like a pawn. We call on Him like this is a great game of chess and I'm moving the pieces around for my benefit. Well, the idea of dwelling means to spend some time. It means quality time with God, or even quantity time with Him and His Word. It means this is where we live every day, because there is a secret place and we're invited to dwell there. It's like spending time alone with God and His Word in our own little private clubhouse. It's just God and me. Those who seek this secret place will be abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. Now we know that whenever we are in God's shadow, that means He is very near to us, right? It also means that we are sheltered from the harmful forces that are against us. He even proclaims here, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress." Can we give that same testimony today? When we face struggles, is God the first place where we run to find shelter and refuge? I know that some will try to fight their own battles. They think that they can actually win them by themselves. They can't. Others will give up the fight and surrender to Satan, perhaps even fall into some sin and addiction in their life. When God has already offered to be our fortress and refuge from all the dangers around us. The psalmist actually summed up the correct answer in a nutshell when he said, "My God." Some get the wrong idea of who God is or what He is. He is, first of all, the creator of all the universe. The one who made us, and He made you and me from the dust of the earth. He knows what is best for us, and He can supernaturally protect us from anything out there. Secondly, as God, He deserves our respect, our allegiance, our worship, our adoration, our reverence, because He is God after all. And knowing He is the only refuge and fortress we have, He says, "In Him I will trust." So why would we look anywhere else? Why don't we run to Him and just dwell in the shadow of His wings so that we can know that comfort, that strength that only God can give?